Well, Yolanda, we chatted about an hour and a half ago looking at the markets, and they were down by about 1/3% when we chatted. Now they're up by 0.5%. Any reason for this sudden turnaround? Because I see that the European markets are still weaker. Japan closed weaker this morning as well.
Stephen, we see that the S&P futures turned positive. It's been negative for most of the morning. So maybe some market expectations that we're going to perhaps see no rate increase in terms of the FOMC meeting, and possibly some positive news out from the State of Union address. But besides that, just market expectation, I suppose.
Of course, we did have our consumer inflation numbers out just over an hour ago. Consumer price index slightly better than expected, growing by 6.3% year on year in December. That was from 5.8% in November. And the market was really looking for a figure of around 6.4, 6.5%. So some positive data there.
Stephen, when one looks at the data, we see the effects of higher commodity prices. Obviously, your Brent higher prices offer a lower base from the beginning of the year, and we see the effect of the Eskom increase. And I think that's really why the SARB did not increase rates yesterday, because we're likely to see inflation out of the target band for most of the year. SARB has priced in a further increase of 25 for this year. So really quite conservative, but still quite cautious, and we could see inflation higher as we go into the year, and the full effects of the Eskom rates come through.
And of course, we know that the SARB's own model is using an Eskom increase of about 25%, which is why, as you say, it didn't cut rates. And going forward, it's really the second round effects of that Eskom increase. And of course, the fact that it may hike by more than 25%, we're only going to find that out next month, aren't we?
Yes, Stephen. The cumulative effect on the actual basket is going to be quite dramatic, as well as the increase for consumers, you and I, what we're going to be paying, and the feed through on food. Quite dramatic. There is no reason to really cut rates. High unemployment. When one actually looks at those factors, we really can't see the SARB, giving any relief to consumers.
Of course, you mentioned President Barack Obama's State of the Union address in the United States this evening, and I'm sure the market will be watching very closely to see if any more details are given about the proposed banking regulation, and that really has kept markets on the back foot over the past week or so, hasn't it?
It has, Stephen, especially after he came out last week and they spoke about, downsizing the banks in terms of, closing hedge portfolios, closing down your prop trading. We've probably seen a lot of money coming out of emerging markets. We're seeing weaker currencies, emerging market currencies, and we're probably seeing it if you look at the platinum price. We've seen it come down at almost over $100 over the last week, because we saw that platinum ETF being launched this year, which we know really supports the actual commodity prices, and we're just seeing investors just pulling that, lowering their risks. So I think that's why we're seeing the broad comeback in commodities.
So really going forward from here, we'll really be looking for news from that FOMC meeting this evening, as well as that State of the Union address then.
Yes, Stephen. I think the FOMC most likely will come out with no rate, but investors are very cautious that we might see, because Barack Obama has come out to say that they are going to be be regulating the industry more closely, as well as the State of the Union is unique because it sets a tone for the rest of the year. It looks at the state of the economy and what they're going to be doing for the rest of the year to manage the economy. So a lot of investors cautious ahead of that.